I assume Tim has a question. If you want to go ahead and just start.
Yeah, hey Mike, how you doing?
Hey, Tim, what's up, buddy?
Not bad. What have you been doing this week to get the offense back on track, and what specific areas are you targeting?
Well, we got rest yesterday, and so we're back at it today. No, we can't turn the ball over. That's number one. We got to get a shot at the basket every time, and I think the ball's sticking right now, meaning guys are trying to put their head down and trying to do too much every time they touch it, and that ball's got to get hot. We talk about that. So too many turnovers, not enough assists. That's number one. From there, you shoot better when the ball's hot. You shoot better when it's inside, outside. But turnovers and not getting enough assists right now. We got to get that ball hot. So we're fighting the game, right? We fought the game the other day on Sunday at Memphis. When you do that on the road, it's a bad combination.
What things are you doing in practice to address those things?
Practicing?
Yeah, and
everything.
Gotcha.
Sean, if you want to go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Mike. I got two questions, one from me and actually one from Lane. My first question is, looking back at the tape from Memphis, was it as bad as you said it was after the game on radio, or did you actually see some positives that you can take?
Well, when it's right after the game that you're frustrated with the result, without a doubt. Defensively, we had some great possessions. Offensively, we just had no rhythm whatsoever, and we just fought the game. As I said on the radio, I think when you fight the game, it's really hard to get in a rhythm, and that's what we did. Disappointing because of some of our returners more than anything, and they know how we want to play. I think we're fighting the game because Ace is out. Like, I got to do it. I got to do more. And it's the other way around. I just got to keep doing what I do in my role at a high level. And that's what we got to learn this week, that we got to get each other shots. We got to keep the ball moving. The number one thing is you don't take bad shots, or you don't drive it into where the defense is at. And we just fought the game. And so as frustrated as I was, there's so many things we can get better at, and that's one of them right there. We got to take the next step, and we could be a really good team if we don't turn the ball over. But as long as we keep turning the ball over at 17.5 a game, you're going to put yourself in tough situations.
And my question from Lane, he wanted to know the reason to add Kennesaw State to the schedule this season.
Because we need games.
Simple enough.
Yeah, I mean, really, especially when we not playing over Thanksgiving like we usually do. We played in this tournament the week before. We wanted to make sure we played this week since our guys are going to be here and there's no school. We wanted to make sure we played Friday or Saturday, and it was really hard to find games, standalone games. So we're fortunate that we got Kennesaw to come here on Saturday.
Easy enough. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Matt Shelton, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Not to harp on the turnovers, but when you were here as an associate head coach, you guys were a consistent top 25 turnover offense for years. And it hasn't been like that. What is that, a personnel thing, or how do you keep it consistently turnover free?
I think it's both. I think it's we play a little bit faster. I think we're trying to create more possessions, so that's at times you're gonna maybe average more. Just playing off of 2 feet, not fighting the defense, Matt. I think those are the two biggest things that have been reoccurring, and we practice it all the time. You can call it game slippage, whatever it may be. It's disappointing the group of guys we have right now that can handle the ball, that are strong, are 50-50 passes. I like to say we're throwing. It's 50-50. I'm going to throw it to see if I can get it through. Well, you don't do that to go get another shot, to go get to the next action of your offense. And we work on it. But when you go into the game and you're trying to hit triples and home runs instead of singles, that's where those turnovers occur. In transition, we're not finishing in transition. I think this group is pretty good in transition, but we're not making the simple plays. We're putting our head down too much, and I got to go make a play. We got to continue to improve, and I like to call it in-game maturity. When the game starts, you got to have maturity to make the right play at the right time.
And a quick follow-up. I was talking to a VCU legend. He's not one on your staff. And I was asking him what he thought about the turnovers. And he said, and I quote, "When everyone who touches the ball is worried about scoring, it shows."
Yep.
Do you think that's an accurate assessment of what this current group is going through, or not?
No, because when Ace is out there, the ball gets hotter because he's a natural passer. And I think that's becomes a little more contagious. But I think with him out, and because you're missing your key guy when it comes to ball security, or your point guard that's going to handle the ball, guys try to do a little bit more. I think that's just natural. Seen that in the past before. But I agree with your legend. The game's a lot easier when the ball's really moving, and the ball still finds good players. And it's amazing when the ball moves. And we've had moments where the ball's moving and you could see guys are getting each other's shots. And then you could see when guys are putting their head down and over dribbling. And some of it is out of because they want to win so bad and they think they got to do it. And some of it is, well, I got to get a touch and I got to go. And you're still breaking, Matt, no matter what, 16, 18 years of habits. And sometimes in the thick of battle, you see some of those habits come back. You got to just keep working on it, keep grinding on it.
Chris Powell.
Yes. How you doing, Coach?
Chris.
I know you talked about in the preseason as far as the togetherness of this team. What did you see kind of on the road, and essentially they're handling like this patch of adversity? How is that togetherness holding up, and just how the team?
That's been great. I mean, that's probably the part that is most interesting right now, just because these guys get along so well, and they can have conversations with them that are, that go the right way. But sometimes we look frayed on the court, fighting the game. And that's the part I told them this yesterday when we were in a film session, is how well you guys get along, how you guys can talk to each other. You got to use that for each other on the court. And that's not every team has that. These guys get along so well on and off the court, but they're just all trying to fight it. They're fighting the game to help each other win, but you got to use each other all the time. So we just got to continue, to build on that and work on that. We still got a lot of new faces and new roles, but no matter what, you don't turn the ball over. You always give yourself a chance, and we got to improve on that so much. And the way these guys get along, that should help that for sure.
Tim, you had some follow-ups?
Let me unmute here. Hey, Mike, when did Ace have his surgery? And
Friday morning, and I got 2 screws in it, and he's just day to day now. He's just rehabbing, and we're just he's got to rehab every day and work on it, and then hopefully we'll get him back sooner than later.
you're still looking at 2 to 3 weeks, you think?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't want to hog here, but shooting percentage has been down a little bit too, especially on threes. Are you seeing anything there that concerns you, or anything trending in that thing?
I think we forced a couple the other day. Going over the tape of the last 3 games, we had some really good ones with the right guys shooting them. We shot too many pull-ups the last 2 games off the dribble. That's for sure. We straightened that one out already. And David missed a bunch the other day, and he had some great looks, some inside outside threes. He's going to make those. That's part of sports, right? But we got to shoot the ball better. But we got to take better ones. We got to get each other open threes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Matt, if you got more.
Coach, Josh Banks was definitely a bright spot.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if you could talk about him and also just his sort of mental ability to go from not playing at all to starring in Brooklyn against 2 power conference teams.
Yeah, well, first of all, the one thing about Josh is he's always stayed ready, so he didn't have to get himself ready. And that's an upperclassman. Just he's a great kid. He works really hard every day, and instead of him accepting, oh man, I'm not going to play, he just kept battling every day. And then we have an injury, we get in some foul trouble, and he has an opportunity, and he takes great advantage of it. And now he's just put himself in the rotation and somebody we can rely on. The one thing, and I use Josh as an example, is he started in his role this last weekend and even on Sunday. He didn't try to do something he wasn't capable of doing. He didn't try, he didn't try to do too much. He didn't fight the game. Made open shots, drive and kick, take care of the ball, try to play the best defense he can and keep his man in front. And it's amazing when you have a simple, clear mind about stuff like that, you play better and you don't fight the game. And he was a great example of doing things the right way. And that's I hope other guys take heed to that as well.
A quick follow-up of sorts. One of those games in the win was against Jeff Capel and the former VCU head coach. I was wondering what your relationship is like with him, because I know there was some overlap in your time in Richmond. And also I know coaches apparently don't like playing their friends, but you got to play Chris twice a year. You have to play Anthony twice a year. How do we get Shaka on the schedule? Why is he ducking us? What's going on with that?
I didn't say that. You said that. Look, when I was at Randolph Macon, I used to watch Coach Capel's practices at VCU, Coach Grant practices in Franklin Street Gym. And, I've known, you're around long enough, you become friends with these guys, or just, you run into them all the time. So I don't know Coach Capel very well. But he's still a big fan of VCU, talks so highly of VCU. He's a class guy. He's the good of what's great, what's good about college basketball. The way he treats his players, the way he acts. He's all class. His family's always been all class, and you want young people to be around a guy like Jeff Capel. So I have great respect for him. So you battle for those 40 minutes, Matt, like you're playing against your brother or your buddies down the street, right? Growing up, and then you just move on and you wish they win all the rest of their games. I've always been that way. It's a 40-minute game. When we've had, Texas come here and we went there, it's just, with Coach Smart, it's a 40-minute game, win the game, because that's what you're supposed to do, and then move on and cheer for those guys. I don't know. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but that's how I feel. But with some of these guys that have coached here at VCU before me, they hold VCU in high respect, and I think our fans and Ram Nation have treated those guys very well and still cheer for them, and I think that's the way you go about it.
How about the Shaka part of the question?
Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him that one. So I was rooting for him last night, and he had 17 points at halftime too, like we did. So something must be in the water.
We'll go Sean and then Tim.
Hey, Mike, I'm not going to start controversy with, trying to play somebody or somebody trying to duck you or anything like that. But I'm asking about the tape session that you're talking about. Did you have to say a lot when you put on the tape, or were the guys, when they saw something wrong, they immediately said, hey, that was me? They took more of the onus, put the more
I probably
of the onus
didn't
on
have to say a lot, but I did say a lot. Yeah, it was a long film session yesterday. So without a doubt, I hope we don't have to have any more of those all year long. But yeah, it was long. I get, maybe it was uncomfortable, but sometimes you got to put it out on the table and put it out in front of everybody and show it and see it and repeat it and make it hit. So as a head coach, I don't like doing that all the time, but sometimes you got to do that. So tape doesn't lie. Tape doesn't lie for the coaches. It doesn't lie for the players on the court on that tape. But that's sometimes how you got to do it.
When that has happened in the past, those games that follow, what have you seen from the guys after a tape session like that?
Well, you hope it really, registers, okay, and you hope they take it upon themselves to handle their business and practice it in games. Sometimes it really hits home, sometimes it doesn't, but I thought at this time we needed to do that. It's still very early in the season. We're going to get a lot better. We're going to get Ace back as well, but no excuses. We gotta play better on the offensive end. Our defense is absolutely good enough to win basketball games against anyone we play, but our offense isn't. And with this group of guys, how well they get along, and how coachable they've been, our offense needs to be a lot better than it has been. So it's unacceptable. Starts with me and it goes all the way down.
Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, Mike, you've always wanted your identity to be probably more defensive, as a defensive team, something you can hang your hat on. What do you want this team to be identity wise, and where are you right now in that process?
Well, I mean, I number one is you got to be able to stop people in the half court if you want to win and win big. That's important, without a doubt. So you want your defense to show up all the time. So I think we all agree on that. Offensively, our offense got to show up all the time, and not always by making every shot, but having a rhythm on offense of getting good shots all the time, or very consistent. When you turn it over, Tim, at a high clip like we have been, and taking tough shots, that's a recipe for just not having a consistent offense. And we just got to continue to bring great awareness to that, and keep working on it, and not letting that ball stick. And we have guys that can read ball screens. They've showed that. We have guys that can score at the basket, but also kick it out and get guys shots. We're just not doing it at a consistent basis. And I think we need to, continue to get back to what we lay our hat on, playing really, really hard and playing for each other. And, 5 games in, our defense has been there, but offense isn't consistent, and we're working on it.
Thank you.
And then Matt, we got one more.
Coach, you mentioned putting it all out on the table. On Thursday, when the food is put out all on the table, what is the best Thanksgiving dish, and what is the absolute worst Thanksgiving dish?
My wife's stuffing. That's elite. So I'm very thankful for that. Man, what don't I like?
It's green bean casserole, if anyone brings that, by the way.
I love green beans. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look at me. I don't miss many Thanksgiving meals.
You look great, Coach.
I appreciate
Almost
that.
as good as Tim Perrell.
You know what? I would say I'm not. I don't miss. I'll eat corn, but I don't want that to get in the way of all the other good stuff. So there's not a lot of corn. So we're gonna have our team's gonna come over to our house for Thanksgiving on Thursday, and it's gonna be really cool. We did it before COVID one time, but we're gonna do it this Thursday. So we're gonna practice Thursday and then have everybody over the house. So looking forward to breaking bread with everybody. It should be a lot of fun.
He keeps bringing up this old stuff. You hear that? Did you hear that, Mike?
Yeah.
I did have a birthday this week, and I'm not going to tell you which one, but it is
Happy birthday.
It is over 60.
It's only a number, Tim. It's only a number. It's how you
That's
look
right.
at it.
If anybody needs a spoon for serving something, Matt's got one. He's been stirring up stuff the whole conference.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Tim, mine is Saturday.
Well, happy birthday, Tim, and happy birthday to you, Sean, coming up. Anybody have anything else?
I'm good.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
holidays.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
You too.